morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We're so glad you're here and your soul is in the right place.
That's right, you're in the right place at the right time, just where you are meant to be, whether you're live streaming or you're here with us in person. We are so happy that you're here, and we're going to sing about it. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Please join me in turning around, saying good morning to those live streaming. You're in the right place at the right time. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Yes, it is. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome.
I feel incredibly blessed to be receiving the microphone from Ann Roach. But I will not sing. But I will greet you in the name of all that is beautiful, all that is warm and sacred, and sometimes unexpected in this community that we call Spiritual Life Center. And we know that if you are here for the first time, if you are live streaming from the first time, or if you've been here for years, almost 2 decades, we know that none of us are ever here by accident. We are here by divine appointment. And that beautiful divine appointment is to live out and demonstrate with our lives our mission, which is to transform lives as we love, serve, and remember. And all of you are exceptionally keen and wise and bright, and you have wonderful memories, and you've already shut off any electronic device. And we will grade the ringtones later if they go off. So be sure to have a custom ringtone.
Is that like a scale of 1 to 10?
It kind of is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take a moment to center ourselves in prayer, and I want to share the prayer that my group discovered on Thursday morning. My Thursday morning group discovered. So let us pray. Our beloved within, blessed be our name. Inner light shine forth. Divine intention manifest within and without. We are blessed always with awareness and abundance. We forgive ourselves and others. We do not stay in temptation. We release ourselves from fear. We return to love. we live in light and love and glory. Amen. And as I've been saying, our wow keeps getting wowier. This week we have, thank you, Anne. So this week we have Dr. Daniel McCrimmons, who has asked me not to call him doctor because he says he knows who he is. So we'll say Daniel. I'm going to be doing an interview. This is our Talk the Walk series. And his theme is the vibrant boy within me. And what his theme really is that somehow he has managed to stay in touch with his inner child his entire life. And so he's going to talk about how you can do that and what a wonderful difference it makes in your life if you're coming from that point of view. So join us at 7 for the program and at 6 for salad.
Beautiful. And now we have an amazing guest speaker with us this morning, and she's no stranger to Spiritual Life Center. She is a licensed Unity teacher. She is a doctor of Chinese medicine. She is a fabulous teacher. She teaches, she's a licensed Unity teacher. She also teaches on the beautiful brain physiology differences between the male and the female brain. She is a frequent guest here on our WOW programs along with her beautiful cohort, Gail Vinson, and they do beautiful spoken word programs around the theme of Rumi and his work. And so she travels Northern California teaching and speaking, and we are graced to have her with us this morning. Her name is Reverend Dr. Gail Derin. Please give a warm SLC welcome. And how many of you were with us at the expo last weekend? Just a show of hands. Wonderful. It was an amazing time, and it took a Herculean effort. It took a lot of volunteer hours. So if you gave any smidgen of your time, talent, or treasure to make that expo happen, would you raise your hand? And we thank you and we bless you. And, you know, the ringleader, the expo ringleader, that Elaine Laroa, is not with us this morning. She put in hundreds of hours on that one project. Then she moved last week. And so my hope and prayer is that she's not live stream watching, Elaine, and she is resting and she is having a wonderful recharging time. So we want to thank her. We want to thank our amazing volunteer coordinators, Carrie Freeman and Pat Harvey, for putting all those hundreds of hours of equity into that program, getting that all coordinated. And then we have to thank our sound gurus, and that would be Ira Mandela and Sasha Alexander. Yep. And they were joined by Cameron Lawson. And then we cannot go without speaking about our chief levitator, and that would be Gil Wright and his team. So thank you all for joining us, and it was an amazing time. And so we have another beloved sister with us. She may be new to some of you. She's not to many. She's another shining light. Her name is Teresa Campos, and she graced our beautiful panel discussion at the expo with James and the other luminaries. And so she's here to speak a little bit about a class she's got coming up. Please welcome Teresa Campos.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. So I'm really excited about this workshop that I'm going to be holding here at Spiritual Life Center in September. It is a series of 3 weeks, 2 hours, Tuesday to Tuesday on September 4th, starting on September 4th. And the name of the workshop is Braving Your Shadow Through the Power of Archetypes. Depth psychologist Carl Jung coined the term the shadow, that which we do not see and that which holds our light. And so in this workshop, we will be entering into the world of our shadow in order to really see our light that's being held within. So if any of you are interested, I will be out there, as many of you saw in the beginning of before the service, and I'm happy to speak to anybody who'd like any further information on this, and I'm really excited to be bringing this work and the language of archetypes, and also integrating my background as an astrologer into also looking at part of that as well, which I think will bring another dimension that should be fun and insightful. So thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. And we have another beautiful program coming in September, and many of you know Reverend Jim Lee. He's coming with his wife, Lisa, and they will be doing a 3-day program, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday workshop on traveling at the speed of love. And there's a little, we've said moving, we've said traveling, but it's all motion. It's all motion toward the speed of love. And so that is going to be an exceptional program. You can sign up for that. There's more information in your bulletin for that program.
What happens in October at SLC?
Faith in action.
Yes, Faith in Action is on its way, and we are going to be studying the book, The Wisdom of the Shamans, by Don Jose Ruiz, and he will be here for a 3-day weekend, the first weekend. But right now, it's your opportunity to sign up as a host and/or facilitator, and we need to get that all of those people signed up by August 26th. You can sign up online if you go to our website, slcworld.org, and then click on the little thing that says events, and then click on FIA, and you can sign up as a home host or a facilitator. And if you want to just be a home host, you can bring in someone who can facilitate. If you really want to facilitate but don't want anybody coming to your house, then you can find a partner and go to their house. So sign up no later than August 26th. If you are electronically challenged, see me and I will help you sign up.
And tell us, Deborah, what's one of the great benefits of hosting in your home, Faith in Action?
You just really get the opportunity to know people and make new friends.
Yeah.
And it also fills your house with just an amazing energy.
Yeah, you won't want to miss it. And so we have how many of you had your photos taken for the 20th anniversary directory? All right, we have another opportunity to have your business highlighted in that directory. And there's information at the cashier table. RJ is going to be here to answer questions. He's our cheerleader for that. It's a short period of time that you have to get that all turned in, but it's really worthy if you want to get your business listing out into this beautiful community. We love to share those resources, so see the cashier table for that.
And right now I'd like to introduce one of our board members, Martha Mills, and she's going to talk to us about the Mission-Centric Survey.
Hello there. Well, I just came from the expo last weekend, so I have my vibes up, water bottle that's filtering all and recharging my water, and I've got my RF thing that's keeping on the back of my mobile phone. And then I had my body tuned up with the singing bowls, and I had a consultation this week with Teresa Campos, so I am charged. Woohoo! And I'm going to be in your class. I can't wait for it. But I'm here on the behalf of the board. One, I want to thank all the volunteers who made it happen. I have to say, sitting in the main room, I was so proud of our AV team, our sound engineering team. I mean, they moved everything over there, people, and set it up. And I just thought they did such a terrific professional job. Thank you, and thank you to all the volunteers on behalf of the board. But I'm here to talk about one of the next things we're doing with regard to our mission-driven ministry strategic plan, and that is we're working, as you know, with Dr. Gary Simmons, who is our facilitator and coach through this process. This week, we will be launching a survey that he has created. It will go out in our weekly email and be available. The link will be available in other ways. And this is what he says about this. The upcoming survey is designed to track the effectiveness and progress of evolving towards a more sustainable ministry practice. We invite you to participate in this important step in our transformational journey, helping us to track and document our efforts to become a model ministry for the entire New Thought movement. like we have been in the past as our pioneers, That he also issued a brief video, which I believe we showed at our last community conversation / town hall. The email, if you are signed up for our weekly email, the link to his video, a very brief video about the survey and its significance in this process, will be included in that message, as well as a link to the electronic survey. And this will be available till I believe our last day, the close-off day is Sunday, September 23rd. If you can't access it for some reason through your cell phone or your computer at home or wherever, we will be providing assistance to you out in the courtyard with access through laptops on Sunday, September 9th and September 23rd, as well as Wednesday, September 12th and September 20th before the WOW events. So we ask you all to participate and help us collectively draw from your experience of what we're doing in terms of moving forward and transforming us into a more sustainable ministry model. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Martha. And right now we want to welcome and we want to introduce you to some beautiful people that would be our ambassadors and our prayer chaplains. The ambassadors wear that rainbow ribbon, and that is the symbol that they are a great connection for you to make if you're new. They can point you in the direction and answer questions that you might have. Our prayer chaplains wear that white stole, and they are here to hold us in confidential prayer. Whether you have a prayer need that is celebratory or a challenge, they are here for you, and they can be seen in the back of the sanctuary after service, as well as across the way in the courtyard. Thank you, chaplains.
And if you are here for the first time, we're going to ask you to raise your hand in just a moment. But for now, we really want you to know about the opportunities that we have for you to be connected here at SLC. If you fill out the welcome card that you will be handed, drop it into the offering basket or take it out to the welcome table right outside the door, and they will have a wonderful welcome and a gift for you. So, if you're here for the very first time, please raise your hand and keep your hand up. We are offering you a shell lei, and we ask that you wear this so that we can greet you. On the shell lei is a tag, and it says, "We believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and there are many paths to the one God." Thank you for joining us today, and now let us all stand and welcome our newcomers and each other.
And we invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song by the awesome Richard Burdick. Please join me in singing. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh. I see God in every moment, in every single moment. I see God into healing, into health, into our healing. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I see God. I see God in every moment. In every single moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I feel God in every moment. Though I'm standing in the dark, there's a struggle in me stirring that's trying to find some part of life that ties it all together, making real some deeper truth. And we dive into our freedom, into me, into you, into our freedom. I feel God in every moment. I feel God in every moment. Ooh, I feel God. I feel God in every moment. Every single moment. Every single moment. I feel God in every moment. Ooh, I see God in every moment. Just look around you. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I see God in every moment. Oh, I see God in every moment. Please be seated.
Well, as our friend Teresa said, we've been working on our shadows, our family shadow, and also our magnificent who we've come here to be side. And we are speaking that together. So let's do that now. Please have compassion for us when we are being not enough, distrusting, grieving, blaming, powerless, and fearful. For this is who we have come here to be. Inspired, in integrity, joy-filled, compassionate, unstoppable, generous, transformational. Yes, well, let's all say that together in our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now, as we prepare for meditation, we'll sing this beautiful chant by Melissa Felipe. There is only one of us. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us.
it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one.
Take a breath. Close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to drop and melt into your seat. In your next few breaths, simply watch your body breathe and notice how you relax with each exhalation. Relax into the center of your chest and bring your focus to that spiritual heart center behind your physical heart. And just breathe normally. Allow yourself to drift into a light daydream. You stand at the edge of a forest. Sunlight diffused by the trees makes soft shadows on a circle of 5 stones. A giant oak tree stands sentry over the circle. As you approach the oak tree and greet it, place your hands on the cool bark and ask permission to enter the stone circle. You feel the life of the tree pulsing into your hands. And the energy enters your hands, runs up into your arms and shoulders, and drops into your heart center. And you are at one with this tree. It is in this way that Oak Sentry grants you permission to enter the stone circle.
There is only one of us.
As you enter the circle, you see that there is a being or a person by each one of the 5 stones.
In your eyes, it's me I see.
As you approach the first stone, you see a child. Reach out and take the child's hands into yours. Look deeply into the child's eyes. You see yourself.
You are my reflection. There is only one.
Moving on to the next stone, you come up to a man. Reach out and take his hands in yours. Look deeply into his eyes. you see yourself.
You are my reflection. There is only one.
As you come around to the next stone, you encounter a woman. And again, reach out. Take her hands in yours. Look deeply into her eyes. You see yourself.
You are my reflection. There is only one.
And now, at the next stone, stands an angel. And the angel reaches out and takes your hands. Look deeply into the angel's eyes. You see yourself.
You are my reflection. There is only one.
And coming now to the fifth stone, you see you standing there. And so you reach out and you take your hands into your own hands. And you look deeply into your own eyes. You see a child. You see a man. You see a woman. You see an angel.
You are my reflection. There is only one.
And with thanksgiving now, you turn to leave the circle. And you take a breath to bring yourself back to the body sitting in this room. But you are fully aware of your connectedness to the souls sitting with you in this sacred space. You feel in the depth of your heart every face you behold, every story, every experience is folded in the one in whom we live and move and have our being.
You want to know me, you want to see my face. I do not age with time, I do not fit into a space. I transcend the capacity of your eyes. So who am I? It is the question for the moment, it is the question for all time. I am you, and you are mine. I am the beginning in the end. I am the faith in your believing. I am the color of truth. I am the dreamer of your dreams. I am the falling in your love. I am the words of a prayer. I am the silence in the music. I am the music in the silence. I am your father. I am your mother. I am the man who cannot cry. I am the story in your eyes. I am the orphan of war. I am the leper begging on the corner. I am the black slave in chains. I am the Muslim bride who cannot show her face. I'm the cross you carry again. I am the beginning in the end. dreams. I am the falling in your love. I am the words of a prayer. I am the silence in the music. I am the music in the silence. I am all you have forgotten. I am all that you have not been. I am in you. All of this is within you. Let the journey begin. Amen. I am in you. Amen. I am the beginning and the end. I am the faith in your believing. I am the color of truth. I am the dreamer of your dreams. I am the falling in your love. I am the words of a prayer. I am the silence in the music. I am the music. I am the beginning and the end. I am the faith in your believing. I am the color of truth. I am the dreamer of your dreams. I am the falling in your love. I am the words of a prayer. I am the silence in the music. I am the music. I am the beginning and the end. I am the faith in your believing. I am the color of truth. I am the dreamer of your dreams. I am the falling in your love. I am the words of a prayer. I am the silence in the music. I am the music. I am the beginning and the end. I am the faith in your believing. I am the color of truth. I am the dreamer of your dreams. I am the falling in your love. I am the words of a prayer. I am the silence in the music. I am the music in the silence.
Interested?
Oh, good. Okay, I remember we're in the right place. How we're going to do that is we're going to work with the work of Patricia Albert. How many of you saw her? Okay, good. Well, afterwards, I spoke to her, and she commented on the energy and the consciousness of Spiritual Life Center and how impressed she was. So whether you were there or not, I want you to turn to the person on the left and the right, give them a virtual high five, and say, "You rock." You rock. And she wrote this book called Evolutionary Relationships, Unleashing the Power of Mutual Awakening. And if you just were online and typed in her name, you could download the first 3 chapters of her book. And she's a very good writer, so I just wanted to put that out. So most people focus on that dot, that dilemma that they're in. But the professor afterwards said, wait, there's more. So we know by science that our physical universe or world isn't as it seems, that what seems concretely real really isn't. Atoms, which we're made out of, are 99.99999 empty space. And what we have is we have a nucleus in the center, and then we have, which is a positive charge, and then we have these electrons, which are a negative charge, that are whirling around. And they create an electronic, I shouldn't say it, they create like a force field, like the old Star Trek force field, that light bounces off. And some physicists are making a hypothesis that between that positive charged nucleus and the negative charged electrons is the God space. Because what happens is that when that electronic field, that force field, hits our eyes, it bounces back as light. So if that force field wasn't there, we'd be invisible. We would go right through each other. So what holds it all together is what we're going to talk about. And that what they're also saying about reality is, we get pretty captivated by the 5 senses, don't we? It kind of sucks us in. But did you know that what we perceive by our 5 senses is only 4% of reality? That the 96% of actually what is going on is invisible to us. So it's like a fish swimming through water saying, hey, to another fish, how do you like the water? And he goes, what the heck is water? And then there's this other fish that's swimming and chanting and swimming, saying, I am looking for the great water. Still looking. So the focus they're finding also in science is that they're not so much focusing on the particles, but the relationship that they have to each other. Because in and of themselves, it's interesting, but how they interact with each other is of real interest. So that also makes it an interesting challenge. Because in our society, we pride ourselves with being independent versus interdependent. As we strive for that fame or the stuff, it kind of leaves us wanting for more, doesn't it? There has to be something more. And what we find ourselves is in a place where loneliness and isolation is at an epidemic level. And there's a bit of resistance, though, that even though we know we're stuck in some way, we still, and being uncomfortable in the comfort zone, you know what I mean? We still stay there. So it's kind of like a toddler with dirty diapers who says, yeah, I know it smells, but it's warm and it's mine. I hate change. And in our resistance, isn't it interesting to know that the word war is raw spelled backwards? That when we just stay at the surface, it's easy to set a war in motion when we're not willing to be vulnerable, or we're not willing to face those awkwardnesses and explore it. And you know, as much as we hate being vulnerable, do you know that's the safest place we can actually be? Another interesting thing to know about our culture is that even though we have all these advancements in communication with connecting with each other, you know, we've got Zoom and Skype and Facebook and Instagram, Messenger, all that, right? Yeah, that we are actually creating habits of separation and distraction. Years ago, in 2014, I went back to Michigan during Thanksgiving, and I spent it with my mom. It was going to be, what I didn't know, her last Thanksgiving, and it was also her birthday. And there was this long table, and at the end of dinner, she's way over there, and I kind of go like this and wave at her because everyone else was on their cell phones. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually made a commitment to actually be more present with each other instead of just sort of half distracted? They say that when we withhold our energy, objects and people seem opaque and dim. But when we release it, you ever heard people say when you're excited or when you're in love, oh my God, you glow. It's when we're able to just release out something that is an amazing gift to each other. Recently, there are a few of us that attended a 50-year wedding anniversary. And they met each other when they were 20, and now they're 70. And here's 50 years, and it's amazing they didn't kill each other. And even though they had their ups and downs, what you noticed is that there was this sort of sweetness. There was these little secret, little intimate glances and jokes, and in some ways they were like two little kids with each other. Something that a palpable energy you could feel when people have been exchanging energy for 50 years. So there is a new evolution emerging. And it's important for us to start to pay attention to what that is. Patricia Albert last week kind of spoke a little bit about it at the Whole Life Expo. She was asking when she was speaking for you to come inside her voice to the origination point. So what is the origination point? Well, it's like locating from the deepest dimensions of yourself, even beyond what some people would call the soul, to a place of the very existence of consciousness. And in that place, we are not separate from the divine. And so just to get a feel of it, I want you to just feel your body and just sort of feel the weight of it. And then just let it sort of extend out to the edges of your body. And then just sort of notice your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts. And then know that there's something even deeper than that holds all of that. And yet, it is the place where the presence of God abides. And there's a spiritual practice called a koan, which gives a question that kind of stretches your mind. And the question is, what was your original face before you were born? That's the origination point. Another way it's described is stepping behind your own eyes and seeing out from the divine. And that may feel like a shining light or an incredibly deep place of peace. In that place, though, we feel nourished, we feel love, and we feel support. So I'd like you to turn to the left and to the right and say to each other, Aloha. Which I recently learned means greetings from the center of all. Because if we can perceive it in ourselves, we can also perceive it that there's no place where God is not. And that includes every single person that we see. So I'm going to ask you to come inside my voice right now, to my origination point. And what you might notice right now is sort of a soft unity as we're all coming together. Now, a question might ask is, how do I move into another without losing myself? Well, shamans do it all the time. They may enter into a bird, a tree, a rock to understand its nature. And Emily Cady, in her book Lessons in Truth, that was written over 100 years ago, that's one of the foundational works for the Unity movement, she talked about the difference between individuality and personality. And she said that when we rely mainly on the outer events to shape our sense of self, we strengthen our personality. However, the paradox is, the more we allow God to come into visibility into our expression, the more individualized we become. It's particular to us. So it's relaxing more into more of who we are and actually dissolving more of the identity of who we think we are. And when we're in this place, our heart becomes full, doesn't it? And when we focus on that origination point, it's like tuning into a different radio station, a different place of perception. So it's not being, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not being all gushy, like, oh, I'm looking into your origination point. It's just a place of recognition. So since she had suggested that, I've been doing the practice. And the first person I chose was someone who was actually a little hard to do it with. She always was complaining about someone or something, and she was very disruptive. But I found that when I went into her voice, it was so vast and so deep. And what happened is that there was kind of a settling in her. It's like she felt met. You know how hungry we are to feel really met? That's the next evolution that it's occurring. So this Friday, I went over to visit a friend who had this mother and this little boy in the pool. And so I decided to do the practice with them. And this little boy got it. Game on. He went, oh, she sees me. And he was so happy and so excited and playful and wanted to tell me all these things. And even though our interaction was very short, as I was leaving, I heard him say, "I like that lady," because he felt met. You know, there's this invisible circuit that gets connected when two people are willing to open to each other. We find that then we're part of a much bigger story. And it's cultivating that relationship to that 96%. And I think that if any of you are interested, I'll be sharing some of the practices at the women's group about how to further this practice. And also Jim and Lisa Lee, it's coming mid-September. They're going to spend a whole weekend on Patricia Albert's work. So I hope you come. In the 1950s, Teilhard de Chardin wrote about that if we are to evolve, we must explore the power of love. And he says this: "Someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then, for the second time in history, we shall have discovered fire." That's our leading edge of where we're going. He also said our greatest discoveries, we notice, is that when we are in awe, when we witness others being willing to take themselves to love's depths. Patricia Albert talks about it as staying on the inside, being willing to be committed to love and keeping God in it. There's an African proverb that says, "What the heart loves is the cure." So I don't watch a lot of TV, but I call it guilt-free TV because I get on my little trampoline and I feel like I'm making up for just sitting there watching TV. And I turned on, I'd recorded America's Got Talent. And it had 10 episodes that I had missed. So I put the one way. So this thing was aired a while back. And what it was a man. I was just ready to turn it off. But this man stepped out on stage, and he was very kind of quiet, and there was a humbleness about him. He said he was a singer, and he was there auditioning because of his wife and his 6 children. They all went, 6? Oh, my God. So they told a little background about his story. He was a mental health, psychiatric, pediatric nurse. And he and his wife, Ivy, had married very young, and when they got pregnant, she got really sick. And when she went to deliver, both her and her daughter, the doctor said, probably would not make it through the night. So he stayed up all night and prayed. He said, "God, the woman I love most in the world and my newborn child, please save them." So the next day they came out and they said that the daughter had made it, and then eventually his wife had pulled through. So for 7 years, it was the 3 of them. And then his little daughter, Sophia, started to have these dreams. And in the dream, it was about adopting 3 little boys. This kept occurring. And it took her 2 years to convince them to adopt. So when they filled out the paperwork, wouldn't you know it, the very first call they got was to adopt 3 little boys. And they had come from horrific circumstances. The home was a meth lab. There was no power, no running water. The youngest filled his stomach with gravel just to feel full. And so he went to Michael and he ran into his arms and he said, "Are you my new daddy?" He says, "You want to call me that?" He says, "Yes, And he, well, okay. And so the four of them now, the four children, were together for about another year and a half. And then he heard about Sean. He got a phone call, and Sean, little African-American boy, was living on the streets. They took him in. He was only 4 years old. And then a little more time went by, and he gets another phone call. And this is asking him, because he's a nurse, if he would take this little boy in a wheelchair who had cerebral palsy. And he said, oh, God, my house is so full. I don't know. Give me a sign. How many of us have tripped over the miraculous and then gone, God, can you give me another sign? I have this friend who I so admire her. She is so full of faith. And she'll say, there goes my God again, showing off, showing me how much he loves me. And you know what she does? She looks for evidence. And she's always sharing stories about how much God loves her and how he keeps showing off. So, Michael said he needed a sign. The very next day, he's driving, and he sees this huge billboard. And on the billboard is a man pushing a little boy in a wheelchair who has cerebral palsy. And it says, Father has been behind his son for many marathons. So Michael just broke down. He got the sign he needed. And he said, this little boy is my son, me and Rodrigo. And he said the thing that he loves about their connection is that Rodrigo loves music. And he loves to sing and make music. So the two of them have this amazing dance that they have together. And he said, you know, every dad likes to think they're the hero of their kids. And one of the things that happens, because my kids were raised in foster care, is that I notice that when they're surviving, that they don't dream. But one of the most rewarding things I have is that I can provide for them a safe environment where they're free to dream. And I'm here because I want to show them that if I can follow my dream, that nothing is impossible for them. So we began to sing, very kind of full of nerves. Now, okay, I'm giving you a warning. I'm not a singer. He started to sing, there's a light, a certain kind of light that shines on me. I want to live my whole life through. And you get the idea. And then the refrain goes, baby, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to love somebody, the way I love you. Now, would you sing that to me? Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody, the way I love you. Oh, thank you. Whew. So love stretches us to show up even imperfectly. So I'm going to invite you this week, no matter what you're feeling or thinking or sensations going on, I was going to say, is to go into that origination point. I haven't been sleeping well because last time I spoke, I just had a head injury where I'd fallen off a ladder. So I've been having a bit of headaches. So I was up last night and the night before, and I thought, what if I go into the origination point of this sensation? God's got to be there too. God's in that little black dot also. Thomas Merton, a priest, theologian, mystic, speaks of that origination point. He says, at the center of our being is a point of nothingness, which is untouched by sin, by illusion, a point of pure truth, a point or spark that belongs entirely to God, which is inaccessible to the fantasies of our own and the brutalities of our will. It is like a pure diamond blazing with invisible light of heaven. And it's in everybody. And if we could see, we would see billions of points of light coming together in the face and blaze of the sun that would make all darkness and cruelty of life vanish. So Patricia Aubert says, our evolution is moving away from solo enlightenment to collectively, mutually awakening. And I would say that one of the practices would be to actually look into that origination point of another as a beginning. As we connect to the big picture, we see a shift in that little picture that we hold. So I'm going to close with a poem that Gail Vincent and I did on a Wow Wednesday, and it's by a Persian poet named Hafez. And it's called The Seed Cracked Open, and it could easily be also called The I That Is We. So many of you know this poem. It used to be that I would wake in the morning and with confidence say, what am I going to do? That was before the seed cracked open. There are now, Hafiz is certain, there are two of us housed in this body, doing the shopping together in the market or tickling each other while preparing the evening meal. Now when I awake, all the internal instruments play the same music. God, what love mischief can we do for the world today? So, relax your focus. Stay on the inside. Stay committed to love and keeping God in the center of your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the beloved in another. It's said that the more present we are, the more presence we're open to receive by God showing off. So the next time you're tempted to be mesmerized by that little black dot, that little dilemma that's facing us, know that it is 99.99999% empty space. And what holds us and what supports us and what loves us through it is that 96%. And actually, God's in the dot too. So may you hear in God's many forms and disguises, aloha, greetings from the center of all. God bless you.
take a collective deep breath with our beautiful music today and that meditation that Deborah delivered so lovely, and Gail, your wisdom and your weeness. This is the time in the service where we get to prepare our love offerings. And if you give electronically, just hold that in your being right now. And I want to personally thank you for collectively being the we that makes SLC. Because it is only the we. It is the 99 point, I have to do it 9999, is that correct? No, 9 of what makes this community happen. So what physically keeps us happening here, what brings beautiful speakers like Gail here, and amazing sound systems and amazing singers and our amazing music team, all of the classes and the events that we offer are because of the collective generosity of the we. So thank you very much. And together, let us recite our love offering. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. And lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
In the name of love. We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
In the name of love.
Take a look at the person sitting next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. And lift your voice and repeat after me.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together. In the name of love.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
In the
Name of love.
Every walk of life.
Every walk of life.
Every creed and color.
Every creed and color.
Can we reunite?
God in each other.
Take a look at yourself up next to you.
Sing namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together. In the name of love.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together. In the name of love. We come together. I can't believe you're still sitting. We come together. In the name of love.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together. In the name of love. Just in time.
Beautiful. And so as our ushers bring that love offering back up, we see all of those beautiful, this is the beingness. So the beingness brought forth the beingness that keeps SLC what it is and the beautiful place that it is. And so we are so grateful and so thankful. So let's, there we go. Let's do that.
So next Sunday, James is back with the summer series, Make Me an Instrument, and this time it is faith. It's based on Love Never Faileth. And then see Teresa Campos out in the courtyard if you want to know more about her.